Dixie Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading with the prices going up or down. Over on Dixie for the daily, we are seeing a fall down. Our RSI is dropping, stochastic is favoring bearish. VWAP is continuing a bearish trend, bringing momentum lower and causing money flow to be flat. If this continues, we would see momentum continue lower and money flow would end up breaking down eventually. So keep an eye on those lower time frames. Remember that could be positive for crypto though, because usually they have an inverse relationship. So as long as this MPP doesn't fill and push us up, we could see crypto push up. Remember, usually when Dixie goes up, crypto goes down. So if we see a push up, then crypto likely would get pushed down. Over on Bitcoin dominance, we have a long upper shadow candle, so this could be positive for us if we continue lower because we tried to make a consistent high, got a rejection, stopping at a shorter high. If we can confirm a lower high here, then we could break away, get some lower lows, and at that point, that's where that dominance may start to slip and push our total up against Bitcoin. Remember, Bitcoin can still go up while dominance goes down, it just won't go up at the rate total would. VWAP is favoring bullish, momentum and money flow are pushing up, stochastic does want to curl, so just keep an eye on that, and RSI is pretty flat, as stochastic has been overbought for a while, so I would watch for a pullback here. Over on total for the daily, we did get pushed down toward that support level of that 936 that we mentioned the other day. So hopefully you were watching this. But that being said, we did stay within this pattern. As long as we can make it bounce here, then push up to the top and break at the next touch to the top, then we do still have that chance to push to that 146 plus trillion. So that could be a pretty strong breakup. We do still have that chance. Stochastic is pushing down, RSI is weakening, momentum is falling, and VWAP is in a bearish trend. So keep an eye on that because that bearish trend could end up continuing to drop us away and bring us out of this pattern. Remember, watch for confirmation. If we break out of the pattern and hold outside of the pattern for a couple days, then it's likely we would break away and possibly push down to the 749. So keep an eye on those lower time frames. They do need to continue and make bullish trends on these lower time frames in order for those higher time frames to pick up. Over on the 1 hour, VWAP is favoring bullish. We do have strong bullish waves here and weak bearish waves, so that is positive. That will continue to push momentum higher, which could help that money flow flip from red to green. And as long as we continue getting higher highs and higher lows that do not connect, then we could continue forward with a bullish continuation and get that push up that we need. Otherwise, if we see these highs and lows continue to connect, then I would watch out for that rising channel. Remember, a rising channel, while it sounds good, does end up breaking you down over the long run. So over on Bitcoin futures for the daily, we did get a pretty volatile day. We pushed down to about 97K, broke that 100K, but now we're sitting just above it. This could be a long lower shadow candle. So if followed by a strong green candle, this could help propel us forward. But we're going to need to watch for that confirmation tomorrow because if followed by a red candle, we could see a pretty strong tumble. And remember, we do have that 70K gap. That gap is right around this 80K to about 77K. So we do still have that chance to drop down, and our MPP is saying around 70K. So we could fall even lower. Our value area high is right about 75K. That's where I'd look to kind of hang up after that gap. If we don't hang up at that value area high and make green candles, that's where we would pull back to around that 70K. So we have been warning about this for several months. Keep in mind, gaps do have an 80% likelihood to fill. That's why we've been covering it, because there is an 80% chance that we do break away, and we have been struggling to make higher highs overall. So we have a high here, a lower high here over the last few days. So watch out for a lower low. If we break below this 93K range and make a lower low, that's where we're going to drop down to fill that gap. So hopefully you're listening. Hopefully you watch for that. VWAP is pushing down. Momentum is rolling away with a red dot. Money flow is pulling back. Stochastic is selling off and RSI is dropping. So watch those lower time frames, as the daily does look like it's breaking into a bearish trend. Over on the 1 hour, we do have some sideways action after a push down. I would watch this very close because that could make a bear flag, and a bear flag in the zone, like all bear flags, would push us down. It would push us down right around, let's see, measure that move from the top to the bottom, apply that down, and that would be a break of around 90K. Stochastic does want to push up. RSI is trying to gain strength. That VWAP is in a slight bullish trend with consistent highs and higher lows. Watch if that can maintain. If it can, momentum will push up. Money flow can break green, and we can strengthen those higher time frames. However, if this VWAP breaks into a bearish trend and that money flow stays red, those higher time frames are going to weaken, and we could see this flag come to fruition. Remember, it's very early. It's not even a confirmed pattern because we only have one touch to the bottom and two to the top. Usually you want a little bit more, so keep that in mind as well, because you want to trade on confirmations, not just trade because you see something. So over here, over on Bitcoin, we had that symmetrical triangle, not drawn the best here on the daily, but we did have the chance to break up, and we got the bearish move. Again, highlighting why it's important to trade on confirmations, because this breakout could told you we would have sold off today, and then you could have had some sort of order, hopefully in a support resistance range, like where all these candle bodies and wicks are, somewhere around that 99K. You could have gotten in on that and then capitalize on this drop down. Now, this is also trying to form a long lower shadow candle, so watch for a strong green candle next, because if we get a strong green candle, we could confirm a higher low, then continue forward. Stochastic does want to pull back. RSI is weakening, VWAP is pushing down, and momentum is weakening. Just keep an eye out for the things we mentioned on Bitcoin futures, because those will play on Bitcoin. Remember, Bitcoin futures and Bitcoin do trade similarly because futures trades at a premium to Bitcoin. So over on the 1 hour for Bitcoin, we are trying to make a bullish trend, but we're struggling. We need a strong break forward. Otherwise, if we see a strong red candle here, I would watch for this long upper shadow to give us further bearish momentum. If we can't get back above that 102, making a higher high without pulling back, then we would be in jeopardy of making a bearish trend that could bring us lower. Stochastic does want to push up. RSI is pretty flat, but if Stochastic continues to push up, RSI can chug along and bring price higher. VWAP does have a consistent high, so we do look decent. Just watch if it ends up being a shorter wave. If we get a shorter wave and then we break that neutral, that's where bears would gain control. However, if we can stay above this neutral and get strong, consistent waves like back here, then we do have that chance for momentum to continue forward, giving money flow strength and breaking that money flow into the green. Remember, when that money flow flips green, higher time frames can break into a bullish trend. So we do have a chance to push up. But if we make some lower highs here, that chance could end up being obliterated. So over on graph for the daily, we did push down to our 16,316 like we've been warning of. So we're going to delete our head and shoulders pattern. If I can get it to select it, there we go. Oh, did not delete the right thing. Delete our head and shoulders pattern. There we go. So we pretty much got our full breakdown, pushed down near the point of control, again making a long lower shadow candle. So if followed by a strong green candle, we do have the chance for the bulls to step in and propel us forward. We would want to make a higher high. The MPP does say we could get around that 24, but we need to break past that and continue forward if we're going to have any hope of continuing higher. Otherwise, we may end up trending lower if things break down. Stochastic is pushing down, momentum is breaking down, VWAP is favoring bearish, but trying to push up, so watch that VWAP close. If it can break that neutral and hold, we could start to reverse things here. Money flow is weakening. Again, watch lower time frames. If they can break bullish trends and hold, then we can push forward. Over on the 1 hour here, we are sticking on the possibility of making a lower high. So I would exercise caution, because if we make a lower high here and we can't make a higher low, there is a 40% chance we do, then we could end up breaking down and pushing down toward that 14-cent range. Stochastic does want to push up. RSI is pretty flat. Momentum is gaining strength, and the VWAP is bullish but starting to roll over. So I would watch that VWAP closely, because this may be a shorter wave. And if followed by a lower wave under that neutral, then the bears would have control and they could push us down still. That momentum is starting to roll over. So if that VWAP does continue to break down, momentum will cause money flow to remain in the red, and higher time frames will not strengthen. So over on Anchor for the daily, we have the same possible long lower shadow candle. Again, watch for confirmation, a strong green candle to break our resistance and push us forward above that 3035. RSI is pulling back, so Stochastic's pretty beat down. Our VWAP is hanging just below that neutral, and momentum doesn't know where it wants to go. So if that VWAP can break a bullish trend, we could see momentum propel forward and money flow could make a rebound. Over on our 1 hour, again, we're trying to make those higher highs and higher lows. We do have the chance to make another higher low. So again, watch for this to continue without making a rising channel. VWAP again is making a shorter wave. So keep an eye for that to break that neutral and bring things down. But if we can stay above that neutral and get bounced, then we do still have a chance to see bullish action and a bounce forward. Over on XRP, we got a very weird candle. So we got our full breakdown from our symmetrical triangle. We will delete this. Hopefully you had a buy order just in case that happened if you were watching and listening. RSI is pulling back. Momentum is running away. Stochastic is falling. Money flow is weakening. And that VWAP is picking up a bearish trend. So I would keep an eye on things because this could break us lower if we don't get a strong green candle tomorrow. Over on the 1 hour, again, we do have higher highs and higher lows, but we are making a pretty straight channel. So watch out for this to form a rising channel that could break us down and continue to drop us lower. Our MPP does say we could drop to the 279, and if we don't hold there, we would push right around that $2 zone. RSI is looking like it does want to flatten as stochastic is showing signs it could start to curl. Keep an eye on that as that could lead price lower. That momentum is rounding. Our VWAP does have a shorter wave here, but we got bounced off that neutral, so we do have a decent bullish trend. This is what we want to see on those other coins. That VWAP needs to continue with higher highs and higher lows in order to push forward, or at least stay above this neutral to push the money flow in the green and then strengthen those higher time frames over a few hours. Last but not least, we do still have Algo, which does have that descending triangle. We got most of that breakdown pushing down to the 34. So again, hopefully you're watching. Stochastic is pulling back. RSI is pulling back. VWAP is favoring bearish. Momentum is dropping and money flow is in the red. So I would exercise caution. Over on the 1 hour, we do have that chance to make a bullish trend. But again, we are also trying to make a rising channel, which could break us back down toward that 34 support if we can't break away and get some higher highs and lows that do not connect. Now VWAP is getting a shorter wave here as well. So again, watch for that to sustain above neutral in order to keep pushing us up. Otherwise, if that VWAP breaks through that neutral, we could see a lower low, and then the bears would have another chance to bring us lower. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a great night. Hit the like and subscribe and join us in that Discord.